go ahead and call this meeting to order if we could. If everyone would stand with us in Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Reader, if you would.
Please bow their head with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we praise you and thank you for allowing us to convene today and do the business of this county. Lord, please continue to protect our county. Please continue to instill in us your will for our county. And Lord, we need you and believe in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Please let the record show that all three commissioners are here today. I do have a addition, emergency declaration for weight restriction. I believe you have that over there. I'd like to add that under E. Does anyone have anything else that they'd like to add?
I'd like to discuss a moratorium on some stuff.
Okay.
Data center, lithium storage, and windmill.
Okay. We can add that to F under new business. Is there anything else?
Is that technically business, or is it under just commissioner reports? Anyways, okay, got it.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Do I have a second?
A second.
First and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Review of minutes prior. There's actually 2 minutes. We did have a meeting on Friday, and we had 2 bills that we needed to pay. Those Friday the 13th. Thank you. Right? Yeah, it was Friday the 13th. So we had 2 bills to pay on that day real quick. So I'd make a motion to approve both the 13th as well as our other.
I prefer to take them separate.
That's fine too. Then I'll make a motion to approve the February 13th meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
First and a second. All in favor signify by saying.
The 3rd or the 13th?
The 13th.
Okay, sorry, I'll abstain from that.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And 1 abstain. Motion carries 2-0-1. Make a motion to approve, thank you, the minutes from the February 2nd meeting.
A second.
First and a second, comment.
February 3rd.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Let's see, we don't have any appointments at this point in time. So new business, EMA Damage Assessment, Director Streeter, how are you today?
I'm good. How's everybody?
Great.
Everybody hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'd like to give you a structured update regarding the January severe winter weather event and our progress towards the FEMA public assistance eligibility. The county experienced significant winter weather impacts from January the 23rd through January the 31st. Including prolonged snow accumulation, ice conditions, extended extreme freezing temperatures, and infrastructure strain across the county. On January the 24th, Governor Braun issued a statewide emergency disaster declaration covering all of our 92 counties in Indiana, per Indiana Code 1014-3-12. Knox County issued its local county emergency declaration on January the 27th of 2026, per Indiana Code 1014-3-29. And EM staff ensured that the required signed documentation was completed and submitted. Additionally, FEMA issued an emergency management declaration for the state of Indiana due to the severe winter storm beginning January the 23rd, 2026, and the President approved that declaration. This allows Indiana to access federal resources to support response and recovery operations. It is important to note that the emergency declaration is separate from a full major disaster public assistance declaration. The public assistance reimbursement process still requires FEMA approval following the state's formal request. During the response phase of this event, Knox County EMA monitored all 8 community lifelines 24/7 to ensure the stability of essential services across our jurisdiction. The community lifelines represent the critical systems that sustain public health, safety, and economic stability during emergencies. These lifelines include public safety operations, energy and utilities, healthcare services, transportation networks, communication systems, food and water, access, and hazardous materials oversight and government services. This structure lifeline-based approach allowed the county to move forward in a reactive response and instead of maintaining coordinated system-wide operational stability during an extended severe weather event. This falls under the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Response Act. To qualify for FEMA public assistance, counties must meet the per capita damage threshold. 2, maintain and update a current county all hazards mitigation plan. Knox County All Hazards Mitigation Plan was updated in February of 2024, meeting all FEMA and Indiana Department of Homeland Security requirements. Without that approval and current mitigation plan, Knox County would not be eligible for FEMA public assistance and individual assistance under federal law. That compliance work directly protects our eligibility for federal reimbursement. Knox County has a current population of 36,282. Our exact FEMA public assistance per capita threshold is $176,330.52. As of this briefing, we have identified approximately $438,509.03 in preliminary eligible cost. Knox County has substantially exceeded the threshold. Those preliminary figures are submitted to the Indiana Department of Homeland Security on the morning of February the 9th of 2026. The state of Indiana has also met their threshold for public assistance, allowing the governor to formally request a federal public assistance disaster declaration. As of Friday, our county hospital has been asked to review and submit any eligible preliminary cost for inclusion in overall total. These numbers are not yet reflected in the current total and may increase it further. Under FEMA public assistance, eligible categories for this event include Category A, which is debris removal, Category B, which is emergency protective measures, and Category C through G, which is infrastructure repairs. Most of Knox County falls under Category B, emergency protective measures tied to winter operations and response activities. EMA conducted full outreach to ensure complete and eligibility inclusion for all county departments, City of Vincennes and Bicknell departments through the mayor's offices, all 7 incorporated town clerk treasurers, each township trustee, all 3 public school corporation superintendents, and the county hospital and its facilities. This ensured the full financial impact across local communities, governmental entities, which captured and eligible costs were not overlooked. It is extremely important for Knox County to have a dedicated county facility solely for Emergency Operations Center to coordinate response to long-term recovery from emergencies and disasters within our jurisdiction per Homeland Security Presidential Directive 5 for incident management standards and compliance. Each municipality and government entity expects the county commissioners to support the properly structured emergency management system operating under the National Incident Management System framework. A centralized, properly equipped emergency operations center strengthens coordination, documentation, fiscal oversight, and long-term recovery management, particularly during events such as the transition from response into multi-year recovery operations. While the response phase has stabilized, we are now firmly in the recovery phase. Recovery coordination for FEMA public assistance can last several years. This includes documentation validation, project worksheet development, damage assessments, reimbursement processing, and audit compliance. EMA will continue coordinating with IDHS, FEMA, and all local entities to ensure compliance and maximize reimbursement. This is not a short-term administrative process. It requires sustained coordination and oversight. Commissioners, this was a very significant weather event, but Knox County is in a strong administrative and financial position. We exceeded the county threshold. The state has met its threshold. A FEMA emergency management declaration has been approved. Our mitigation plan is current and compliant. We monitor the community lifelines 24/7. We submitted timely, and we ensured countywide participation. Recovery coordination will continue The EM staff will remain actively engaged throughout the duration of the federal and state process. I will continue to provide updates as the state advances the public assistance. Thank you.
Do you have any kind of timeline on Good Sam, when they were gonna?
Still waiting.
Still waiting.
Yeah. They were supposed to get with, well, they talked to the mayor too, but they were supposed to get with me and give me their numbers for all their facilities, and I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
questions, comments?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. B, area plan recommendations for solar ordinance, discussion only. Drew.
I know the commissioners have received the informal recommendations from the Knox County Area Plan Commission. And if changes are due, if the commissioners desire to make changes, then discussion needs to be had, so the ordinance can be officially drafted, changed, amended, based on what your desires would be on those recommendations.
Okay.
No, they are recommendations, so they don't have to be followed, they're not required. Next step would be drafting an official ordinance, first reading, referral back to area plan. They would hold a public hearing and then make recommendations back to us for second and third reading.
Thank you. Kind of out of the ordinary, I would like to have a additional public comment section time, and I'd like to do it on a non-work day, on a weekend. And I say that only because there are a lot of folks who work during the week who may not be able to come to one of these meetings. And I want to make sure that everyone is heard, whether you are pro or anti, whichever side. So I would love to make the motion that we have a public comment meeting on March the 1st, which is a Sunday. The Blue Jean Center is available to us, and so I'd make that recommendation, I'd make that motion. And again, I know that's kind of odd from what we normally do, but again, I very much want to make sure that everyone is heard. And so moving forward, I make that motion to have a public comment on the 1st, and then I would also make the recommendation to all, well, let's go ahead and finish that up first. Is there a second to have a meeting on the 1st?
A second.
Okay. Comment.
We've sat here and abolished laws in this county and had no special public meetings. We've kicked down the road a coroner office, 911 in a cave, had no special meetings. We've done many things at this board in the last year that required public input where it was decided without public input. Come on. Sunday to have a meeting. We have talked for months. I appreciate it. Meet on a Sunday, but pick and choose is not okay while we're being commissioners representing the whole county. It's not okay. It never will be okay.
Okay. All right, thank you for your input.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yes. So there's a first and a second for public comment on March 1st at the Blue Jean Center. I'll go ahead and call for the vote on that. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All
Aye.
opposed? Aye. Okay.
Go ahead, yeah.
I would also suggest to us that any suggestions that we might have for changes to this ordinance come back to Drew at our meeting on the 3rd. So we can discuss those on, I believe that's February 3rd, or, sorry, March 3rd is our next meeting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. All right, so we would have our suggestions back to Drew at that point in time of any changes that we might want to see in that ordinance. And then we go from there. So that would be a suggestion on that end. Is there anything further?
I wanna do 3 PM.
Yeah, 3 PM would be fine.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, 3 PM would be fine then. Okay. Moving on.
Is this gonna be advertised, and all of the things? Okay,
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
like any,
Okay.
I'm gonna treat it like every regular meeting.
Okay. Claims. You all, yes. Yes.
oh, it's on the calendar.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take care of that. I reserved it for the day. Yeah.
Hey, I just wanna suggest we do business here
I
from now on.
reserved the facility to make sure it was available.
Okay, well, I still think we should discuss it here before we
Yeah,
reserve
I
things.
reserved the facility to make
Okay,
sure it was available.
again, business here.
Right. Claims. Have you all had an opportunity to read
I
the
did,
claims?
I'll make a motion to approve the claims as submitted by the auditor.
Great, I will second that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All, motion carries 3-0. Payroll. Make a motion to approve payroll.
I second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Emergency declaration.
Yeah, we have a foreman's meeting every Tuesday, and I got with all 3 foremans today. We're getting some pretty soft roads. And what we would like to do is restrict the roads down to a 10-ton, 20,000-pound weight limit, for here to see what they do. I mean, with the freeze and thaw,
Did you say 10?
10
All right.
ton, yep. And
Gotcha.
you know, we've talked about it, it's some of the hard surface roads, especially with big loads right now, I'm afraid that there's not gonna be much left, especially the gravel roads. Because even with when the snow, we had 14 inches of snow, guys, we had to bust up some gravel roads.
I've been here 10 years, we've never graded gravel, ever.
I know,
Ever
and we
until
had
this
to
year.
get people out.
Yeah,
You
I know.
know, it was that bad. So that's what we come up with this morning, me and my 3 foremen, and that's the reason why I sent it off to Drew this morning and you guys. So, but I've got the paper, I know Drew probably does too, if you guys wanna sign it.
Yeah,
And
Drew would need to read.
Yeah, this would be ordinance number 2026-2, for the year. This is an emergency declaration restricting motor vehicles to 20,000 pounds gross weight vehicle on all Knox County hard surface roads during emergency conditions. Whereas it was already been talked about today, Knox County's been impacted, and immediately threatened by, heavy snow melt, precipitation, very wet conditions, and freezing temperatures. Whereas the Knox County Board of Commissioners declare that a local disaster emergency exists for the next 7 days in the county to invoke the portions of this ordinance. This declaration's gonna be given prompt and general publicity and shall be filed promptly with the Office of the Knox County Clerk. Whereas Indiana Code 921-1 and associated Indiana statutes authorize local authorities to restrict and prohibit the use of its highways and operation of trucks and other commercial vehicles thereon. As part of this ordinance, the purpose obviously is to protect the county's property, its roads, as well as the general public and its safety. Also part of the ordinance is to authorize the erection of official traffic control devices, namely signage necessary to carry out the intent of this ordinance, as well as establish a civil penalty for violation of the terms. For definitions, truck in this ordinance means a motor vehicle designed, used, or maintained primarily for the transportation of property or goods. Truck also includes a non-cargo carrying power unit designed to operate in combination with a semi-trailer and includes dromedary deck and plate. Hard surface road, as used in this ordinance, means a road surface that is asphalt, brick, stone, block, macadam, concrete, gravel, or other material of equal merit. The weight limit is going to be 20,000 pounds gross vehicle weight, and its place upon Knox County hard surface roads during the existence of the emergency conditions set forth herein. The Highway Department is to erect official traffic control devices that comply with this ordinance to warn the public of the restrictions. The effective date is gonna be upon adoption of this ordinance, and again, it'll continue for 7 days, and it'll have to be decided upon after that to see if the emergency conditions have been remedied. This does carry an infraction of fine of not more than $100 that can be enforceable in any court of law for infraction on this. Obviously, there's exemptions. The typical exemptions on these are gonna be medical assistance, law enforcement, fire department, emergency management, public utility, and fuel hauling vehicles, and any employee that's necessary for those. And that would be the ordinance.
Okay. Make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor,
I
signify.
have some questions,
Yep.
just a few things.
Yep.
10-ton signs. Yeah,
We'll probably have to get some made up. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just what everybody said, that, you know, and we can get, it doesn't have to be nothing fancy with, we can put them on lines.
yeah,
Where we can take them out.
We do have some there. It would probably be a good idea, just for future, that we order some new ones,
Yes.
and just so we can have those.
I just
for the
want some
future
paper
lives.
signs,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Just something cheap. where
So, I mean, a lot of other counties,
Yeah,
put
I
paper
talked to
signs
Davies
on-
County,
that's what
I,
they do.
I've
yeah.
talked to Sullivan County,
Yeah,
and they both, they put it into the commissioners kinda at their own use
Mm-hmm.
to see, but of course, the commissioners gotta vote on it, so.
right, if you can employ that same method, cause I just wanna make sure everybody knows. I don't particularly like doing this.
I don't either, Kelly,
but
I don't at all,
I
but,
know I especially don't wanna restrict, anyway, but the point of the matter is, I just wanna make sure everybody knows, cause there's a lot
Yep.
of grain hauling right now.
yep,
Second question I had for you is days. 7 days, I don't know what the weather is, maybe.
I tell you what, I look at the weather religiously every day. It's supposed to be 70 degrees tomorrow. It's gonna be dry. Thursday, they're talking about a system may come in, and then it's gonna get cold again. So, and it's gonna, but during the day, it's gonna be in the 30s to 40s. At night, it's gonna be 20, so it's gonna a guy
Freeze
told me
thaw,
one
yeah.
time, in February, it freezes and thaws almost every day.
Yeah,
So,
so that's why I was curious. I mean, how are we gonna take this back up?
Historically, we've always done them 7 days.
Yeah.
And then we just take
Just wanna plan.
an emergency action after the 7 days and then reaffirm it at the next meeting. If there is no emergency, then it just lapses by no
Yeah.
action.
Right, right.
And we'll know by Tuesday, once my guys run all the roads this week, you know, we're running gravel roads, we're running every road, every day. And they'll come to me, and we have a meeting every Tuesday morning, and that's one of the things I told them to report today, if there's any problems or anything like that. And they'll let me know, so, I mean, I would be available if you wanna lift it, and we'll see what we can do.
Let us know Tuesday, please.
I will.
Morning after your meeting.
Yep.
And I asked the media to please widely, spread this as well.
Yep, okay,
All right, I'm done.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Call for the vote.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Tim, F.
I would like to discuss starting a moratorium on data centers, wind energy, and then lithium storage until we have a chance to address that in an official ordinance.
Okay.
I'm sure is gonna be done, whatever's gonna be done, but Andrew, the law states, if I'm clear, you can ban things, but moratoriums exist when there's a project introduced, it's per project. We just need to be clear on the law.
Yeah, in land use zoning, which is what these would be, a moratorium would be a land use zoning law that's passed passed, so it's gonna have to follow all the same land use zoning, so it's gonna have to have a formal ordinance, it's gonna have to go to area plan, and then area plan has to come back with the moratorium. But each one would apply to each separate one. Now, they can't be, moratoriums are not permanent. The purpose is to design land use zoning for that specific use. I know some counties do a whole year moratorium.
Per project,
I would, per project.
per project.
I am a fan of no longer than 6 months.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, and once you put in a moratorium for a year, you cannot do it again.
Correct.
You're done. So, unless you all know something I don't, I firmly agree we should have, and we have a zoning rule of broad terms that the wind and the battery would come into, but are you aware of projects that I'm not?
Colt has received, at least a phone call on a data center. Now, I don't know how substantial that
Okay,
is.
Chris
but-
Paff isn't here, I would assume you would know. TJ, you're on that board?
We have not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so instead of, I understand this whole let's stop everything, but in my opinion as a commissioner, we really need to work and invest time into creating ordinances and surrounding ourselves with people to help us write the laws. I prefer to take that action, but, I
This
mean,
is just to get us, till we can get the committee put in place and stuff to.
My preference would be to do, again, while everybody's here for solar, to do what we did in 2020 with
Yeah.
the solar. We had a solar committee, worked with area plan directly, had counsel and advisors on that. I think we need to treat the data center, the wind energy, and battery storage the same way, on each one of those. And again, that can be done within 6 months. We did solar, I mean, we worked a year on it, but.
Yeah, I was
I
there.
think that honestly, with the other three, the framework, the basic framework that you have in the solar is already there. It would just be a matter of what we want preference-wise on each one of those other three.
I think it's much more complex than that. Personally, I mean, they're completely different types of development. They're completely different impacts. I want to treat it the same because I was not, I was in the same boat you were, believe it or not, years ago. I was not in favor of solar. I still am not in favor of industrial solar development far and wide, but we really, really, really took it serious and created laws that were good that obviously we're here today. So I don't know. Personal property rights are important to me, and I think we should handle it with great care and write laws that are good.
Data center will be entirely different. Wind and battery storage will have some overlap, but again, each one can be approached very differently.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you haven't looked at a map, here in Knox County, we have what are called energy zones that they can already go in, and the state can put them there. So just be aware of that.
Okay. We can discuss that further at our next meeting, look at what it would take to put one together. Right now, my concentration is solar and putting this thing to rest. But we can talk about it at the next meeting, what group.
Can we please have it to talk here? Because that is a great fiscal impact for us.
Yeah. Okay. Co-compliance officer, we should have all received something from him at our last meeting. Ready 2.0, we did have a KCIDC meeting this morning. Project Trailblazer, which is now the Amazon, as everyone knows, is moving right along. It was actually quite interesting that the same day as the announcement, they were moving dirt at the industrial park here in Knox County. That'll be just over 100,000 square foot facility for an Amazon distribution center. So we really look forward to that. The water line, this is the Ready project, the water line and sewer project going out to the site is moving along quite well. Beer House Flats is another project that's moving along quite rapidly. They're looking at possibly June for taking applications for people who want to live there. And then you also have a sewer water line going out in one of the subdivisions near the industrial park itself. So things are moving quite rapidly on all those fronts. Yeah, I mean, they're really, if you haven't been out by the Beer House Flats lately, those apartment complexes are going up quite quickly. Really interesting. And then, of course, the housing addition and the water and sewer lines that are going out by the industrial park also will be coming along quickly as well. That's all I have on those. Tim, EOC?
We have a meeting scheduled for the 19th. Nothing much to share right now. I'll have more after we meet then,
Great.
so.
And nothing
Have you
on
invited the office holders,
Do what?
the department heads? Please invite them.
Well, this is just another discussion we're having. If we do we'll address that.
Okay. Public comment, resolution 2020-2. If anybody would like to speak on anything germane to the meeting tonight, we would ask that you please stand, come to the microphone, turn the little green button on if you would please, state your name. And I want to remind everyone this is a public comment time, not public debate, not free legal counsel from Drew. And we just want to be respectful of one another. So please, if you would, sir.
Somebody has to go first.
There you go.
Commissioners, thank you. My name is Eddie Felling. I'm an attorney with Felling, Farnsworth, and Woodkey. We've got an office in Terre Haute and Greencastle. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Knox County Coalition for Safe Solar, which I think hopefully represents a lot of the people in this room. I appreciate you all setting up the March 1st meeting, so I won't bore you, but I think it's important if I give you a little bit of background for why I'm getting involved in this project. Again, I'm from Terre Haute. I'm a 6th-generation farmer on the east side of the county, and I was approached probably 5 or 6 years ago, almost simultaneously by both family and friends about solar leases. And the reason they asked me, obviously, because of the relationship, but it was also because I'd done oil and gas leases before. So I negotiated the solar leases on their behalf with the solar companies, and it's a long process, a lot of negotiation. By the end of it, it got bigger and bigger, and more people came to me for advice. But the same thing happened over and over again with each one of those negotiations. We'd sit down once the contract was done, and they'd say, Eddie, you know, what should I do? Or what are your concerns? And I'd say, well, you know, they answered everything except with one big issue. And I said, if you sign this, you have to understand that you are going to have to assume that in 30 or 45 years, you're gonna have 100 acres, 500 acres, 5,000 acres of solar panels that are stuck on your property. And the question always was, what do you mean?
Point of
Was it
order, is that what the way our law reads?
Ours, no.
No, okay.
And I'm gonna address that.
Right, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so what they'd automatically say is, well, Mr. Felling, Eddie, depending upon who they were, there's a decommissioning aspect to this that's in this lease agreement. I said, yeah, well, you know, most of the time it's bonding. Most of the time it's very similar, I think, to what you all have, which is a 5-year bond requirement where you come back and look at it every 5 years. And I say, well, you know, they get to year 25, solar panels degrade between 1% and 3% a year, and there's no bond company to write the bond. What happens? Well, that's a good question. Nothing happens. They can't get a bond. And now the landowner is stuck with those solar panels on their property. So inevitably, we'd have that whole discussion, and I'd say, well, what do you guys want to do? And guess what? They'd sign it. You know why they signed it? Because they're getting $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a year per acre for 40 years, and you can't say no to that. Not as a farmer. So what I realized after negotiating a lot of those was that I had to look at it from a different perspective. I could help the landowners negotiate those leases, but at the end of the day, the local government's the one that really has to establish the rules to make sure not only the landowners are protected, but that the county's protected as well. Because if those solar panels get stuck on somebody's property in 40 years, the company's gone, the landowner's not gonna pay to remove the solar panels that are on their property. They're gonna let it go, and it's gonna be the county's problem. And I guarantee you that Knox County does not have the money to pay for a decommissioning project for a 2,000 or 3,000 acre solar field. So, I tell you all of this, and I appreciate again the public comment section you have set up for March the 1st, but, you got a lot of work to do with your existing ordinance. You've got some good bones, certainly. One of our other commissioners brought up data centers and batteries as well. You have a whole nother looming issue of nuclear that's coming to Knox County, I guarantee you. It's coming to Vigo County any day. Governor's already announced he wants, I think, 40 small nuclear reactors coming up across the state. And guess what? You don't have any type of zoning regulations with regard to that. So what I'd ask is, not only do you have a public comment section, but you involve or set up a committee that involves multiple aspects of individuals that can help you put together an ordinance that helps look to the future to see how you're gonna deal with all of these issues, energy as a whole, not just solar, moving forward.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Go. Yes, yes, ma'am. Good evening.
I'm Cindy Gilmore. I live in Monroe City. And at this point, we're all just worried about our own properties, our property values, and just our safety. So I just hope and pray that when we have this other meeting on the 1st, and that you all, Kelly, TJ, and Tim, you all have an open mind and listen to us, and to listen to both sides fairly, prayerfully, and think about, do you want this would you want this in your yard, or would you want this by your children's schools? So I'm just asking for you to take the time and really consider all of this, and take a drive. Go to Wheatland and see what that looks like over there. It's a terrible eyesore, and the roads are in a mess, and people just want you all to listen wholeheartedly, if you would. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir. Yep. Public comment.
My name's Eric Lafferty. This doesn't pertain to the solar panels, so can I make another suggestion about another issue I think is a safety issue in this county?
Sure.
Okay.
What?
I live out Odecker Road, out on Main Street,
Uh-huh.
and we've got the industrial park out there with Futaba, and all the other things are coming to town. And then we've got the Knox County, the jail and work releases out there. Maybe this has been brought up to you, but as a safety issue for
Yeah.
people who walk and ride bicycles,
Great. So I will go ahead and address that. We are working, we asked for KCIDC to work with Duke and Wind Energy on possibly getting some lighting out through there. You know, and we're always looking for some federal grants. One of the grants that this body wrote last year was for Safer Streets for All. So we're looking at possibly doing some money, some stuff with those grants. But yeah, we're definitely looking into lighting first and foremost, getting some lighting out through there. But what can we do to make a safer street or safer passageway from the city to Industrial Boulevard? So yes, we are addressing it.
they may not use the bike path or walk path.
Sure.
But if you were able to add one side or the other of Odecker Road,
Yeah.
I think it'd go a long way as far as safety for
Yeah.
people walking back and forth. Cause I think a lot of people that work out there may not have the financial needs for a car, so they're walking and bicycling. And every morning when I go by work release, there's 4 or 5 people standing out there underneath the light.
Yeah.
So I think it needs some, I'm really surprised nobody's been here.
Yeah.
So, that's all I wanted, thank you. Well, and that's my point, I mean,
Yeah.
if we're gonna build water and sewer and everything else, we need something to get out there.
Right, right. Okay, thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else, we will have a, like I said, a special, meeting on the 1st. Other than that, our next, meeting is here, 10 a.m. on the 3rd of March. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Where's all the North Knoxers? I was like, everybody here is South Knoxers. I only know the North Knox farmers because I worked for them.